With last year ending with 19 murders, 2006 in Grand Rapids would prove to be even more deadly and chaotic. Starting off the year on the 6th of Jan, Nathaniel Kroom was told that the two men, Marquand McIntosh of Bemis and Ollie Smith, that would hold him hostage in June of 2005 was offered a plea agreement. The main assailant would get 1 year in jail in exchange for helping authorities by testifying in other felony cases. Kroom was in court when his alleged attacker, Marquand McIntosh, 27, appeared before Kent County Circuit Judge George Booth on charges of home invasion and armed robbery stemming from Kroom's case. On June 20th, Ian Johnson, Marquand McIntosh, and Ollie Smith entered Kroom's home at 645 Charles Street Southeast around 3 a.m. and held him and a friend hostage, demanding drugs and cash. After 6 hours, Kroom, 52, broke free when the robbers fell asleep and shot one of the robbers, Ian Johnson, 23. Upon hearing Kroom's dismay, the judge adjourned sentencing McIntosh until he testifies in the other cases. McIntosh already has testified he and others drove Michael J. Jackson to Atlanta following a December 22, 2004, home invasion and robbery that led to the shooting of Grand Rapids police officer Jason Lowry. Jackson is not charged with the officer's shooting, and McIntosh has agreed to testify about other robberies and homicides in exchange for the lighter sentence, authorities said. His partner in the Kroom robbery, 19-year-old Ollie Smith, is serving 13 to 25 years in prison. What kind of a message are you putting on the streets? You can do black-on-black crime and snitch and just get a year in jail? I don't think so, Kroom said of McIntosh's plea deal. Well, I think sentiment isn't lost on Tekashi 69 or the many of other gangsters people seem to glorify. Nevertheless, this recklessness only proceeded as the months went on in 2006. By 6 months, 17 people have been shot and killed in the city of Grand Rapids. It was all happening in one small section of the southeast side. That Monday of the week of June 7, 2006, Kashina Cohen was grazed by a bullet in the back of her head, and Gabriel McAllister was hit in the leg about 11:20 p.m. They were caught between two people shooting at each other near Benjamin and Alexander. Neither suffered life-threatening injuries. At that point, with innocent bystanders getting in the crosshair, Chief Dolan established 2 mobile field offices in the summer. One on Hall Street and Cass Avenue, which is Cass Avenue neighborhood and right near Highlands Hood, and Baxter, Bemis neighborhood at Joseph Taylor Park. Then the summer exploded with murders. Between June and July, 16 people were murdered. As the city was getting hotter and hotter, shootings became almost a daily occurrence. But with so much tragedy, it sometimes can come from the inside as well. Streets like Logan, Benjamin, Bates, and Sigsbee all are a part of the same umbrella and factions of the larger wealthy Bemis Uptown team. A key figure and big brother to the now self-proclaimed prez of the block, YC, his big brother Mokel Lee, or Kells, on August 9, 2006, got into an altercation with Pablo Torres, and from what was understood is Lee whooped a guy named Flores. Flores, being hurt, Pride in shambles, leaves and returns at 10 p.m. where he shoots Lee right around the corner from a temporary police command center set up on Baxter Street earlier this summer to help stem a rash of shootings. While on the way to the hospital, the police tried to assist the car taking Lee to the hospital, and Lee got out with a hole in his chest, walked himself to the ambulance, and they took him the rest of the way. He later passed away from his multiple gunshot wounds. 25-year-old Torres was a member of a wealthy street boys gang franchise known as L Block when he shot Lee during an altercation on Logan Street Southeast at Bath Avenue. The Torres prosecution was part of a joint effort by local and federal authorities to end what police describe as a state of siege by violent gangs on the southeast side. He was sentenced to life in prison. With this much energy and attention to gun violence, the next school year didn't slow anything down. Fights at Creston High School, Ottawa High School, Central and more were becoming prevalent. Firearms were being found at school, causing lockdowns, and the gang violence was steady climbing. Within the months of June and July, 16 murders occurred, and by the time Lee passed away the city was already at 20 murders, making his the 21st. Gang members are being shot, but no one has died again at that point until November 13, 2006, everyone was supposed to meet at the fun spot for the skate time. Just so happens that that's also the main meetup of the gangs. Per the account of that night, East Avenue was near the lockers and Bemis was near the food area. At some point they clashed. Kanisha Deer recalled running to him and grabbing her brother's sweatshirt, trying to keep him away from a scuffle the night, but she said she saw Kenneth began punching Casper. It was no more than a couple seconds later. Boom. A cloud of smoke and everyone is frozen for a second, and Kenneth drops backwards to the feet of his older sister as she screams in agony, having witnessed her brother has been shot. She holds him in her arms, and Kenneth's best friend Josh Beckford chases after Giovanni, and the rest of the crowd rushes out the door. The video comes not from rink surveillance cameras, which allegedly were not operating that night, but from a video taken by Cheryl Pfeiffer, who produces a public access television show that includes scenes from the rink. The rumor was that the wealthy boys were security guards at the fun spot and eliminated the tape. This shook the city because before they wanted to believe that everything was just a one-off. That there wasn't a gang problem since the dismantling of the wealthy boys. But they were sadly mistaken, and a shooting at the skating rink that still operates to this day has gave Grand Rapids a rude awakening. After this there were fights at games, a couple of shootings, and this is when we start to see more gang disses in music. The Midwest version of Banging on Wax would have Grandpa, Lips, and so many more sending diss songs to Bemis. But those words kept the fire fresh, and another clash would occur when animosity between rival gangs from a November 12th roller rink shooting that killed a teenager sparked a weekend brawl and stabbing of a 17-year-old at Woodland Mall. John Tay Mayberry of Bemis Avenue was stabbed in the back in a gang fight by Josh Beckford of East Avenue that involved about 20 people with ties to the Eastern Avenue and Bemis. Beckford was there at the fun spot as well and held Kenneth while he took his last breaths. It is rumored that Darryl Tompkins protected John Tay Mayberry when he pulled him to a corner and stopped in front to defend him from an incoming onslaught of East Avenue members. Beckford took a plea for a year. The feud between the gangs goes from the streets to cyberspace, with members of the Eastern Avenue boys vowing revenge for Deer's death on the social networking site Bebo.com. In one post, an Eastern Avenue member writes, "Those ho-ass, Bemis, bitches, better lay low cause we all want their head over this shit." The threat is accompanied by a drawing of a gravestone that has Deer's date of death and East Avenue for life written near it. Bemis would send a direct shot at East Avenue and their other enemies in music, and as you may very well understand, it got more disrespectful.
Niggas think I'm gon' die? Hell no, you crazy. Got a mom and a sister and a niece and a baby.
We back in this bitch. R.I.P. Free YC, nigga. Yeah. Hey, coach.
What's good?
Go get this shit. Quick, faster than Irving, my nigga. Ain't no more talking. Reach the gin, homeboy. Get it in, homeboy. Tryna box. No, you see what happened to Ken, homeboy. See, I pull up. Reach the gin, homeboy. Get it in, homeboy. Tryna box. No, you see what happened to Ken, homeboy. See, I pull a comb. Give him shots to his dome.
Like Los Angeles,
Hey yo, beef was squashed for about 2 months. Webby got hit, now they got their panties out of a bunch. Man, rest in peace, Killer Ken, he get better in time. This is beef, of course you go get it in the vegetable line.